like better? I think maybe just like a little more purpley might work. So something right around there, so you can see kind of what I've achieved. And now something that I do for every photograph, I might not like it, but I figure I'll give it a try, is I am going to do my adjustment layer on black and white, and then I change the blend mode to soft light. And it just gives me some depth to the contrast in the photo. So let me just see how I like that. Let's do a little bit more. So I like how that's looking. That looks good. And then I want to unite this photo. I want everything to look like it's held together. So one of the ways you can do this is you can add a color cast over the entire photograph. And that's something that's very common with compositing. Some kind of similar color tone in the shadows, or maybe it's going to be just an overall tone, overall color. So I'm going to go to selective color. I'm going to go into my neutrals, and I'm just going to add a little more blue to the neutrals. Maybe a little bit more cyan. Go into those shadows, and I'm going to add a lot more blue. Perfect. Let's go into the highlights, add a little more yellows. So I'm just like unifying my photo a little bit more. That's looking really good. And I'm going to go to hue saturation. I'm just going to cool down the entire photo just a little bit. Let's just desaturate just a tiny bit. So I'm able to get to there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this. And I'm going to try this in a plugin. Now, I like it as it is. This would be totally fine to go ahead and proceed with this photo without any further changes, but I do want to try out a plugin. So we are going to pop over to a plugin that I really like, or a standalone editing software that's called Alien Skin. And I'm just going to see what I can find in the way of textures or lens flare. And I think it'll just make it one more step in the dreamy, really surreal direction. And then I'll be all finished with this photograph. And if I want to try something full length, if I want to try closer ups, I can try the same effect and use the same approach. And a lot of the times I'll be able to take the same butterflies, the same color effects, and drag and drop them onto the additional photos that I'm working on, and then just move them around so it doesn't look too duplicated. But really, for most people, you won't be able to tell, and it'll be a quick shortcut that's actually going to help you out a lot. So let's save this and open up an Alien Skin. So here I am in Alien Skin Exposure 7. And what's cool about Alien Skin is that over on the left-hand side here, there's so many different presets where I can figure out what kind of toning I might like for this photograph. And so it's really great just for inspiration to kind of mouse over and just see what look fits your vision. But really that's not why I'm using Alien Skin in this case. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here on the right-hand side, and I'm going to scroll down to where I have overlays, and I can add borders and I can add textures. What I'm interested in right now is my light effects. If I click on light effects, I have kind of these light leaks that I can add, which look interesting. Or I'm thinking about some sun flare. Maybe I want to add some sun flare, and I can flip it so it's coming from the other side, and I can back off the opacity a little bit. Or maybe I don't want any color. I think there's a sun flare in here. Yeah. Here you go, for tree rays. And then I can back off the opacity of that. So I actually have a lot of these cool effects that I can add through Alien Skin and then make some creative adjustments. So I might just kind of click through here a little bit, figure out which one is fitting my vision. Let's try that one. Or maybe this kind of pinkish streaks looks nice. I think I'm just going to go with good old tree rays. And so I can see my before and after. I've added some tree rays in here. Another thing I can do is I can come up and play with some of